Well, Bruce Ratner is one of the city's most prominent property developers. He's the man responsible for the iconic New York Times building and now behind some major projects here in the city. The Nets' new arena, for one, the Barclays Center, being built in Brooklyn, the near $5 billion Atlantic Yards project, and also the luxury rental residential building designed by Frank Gehry here in Manhattan. Bruce is chairman and CEO of Forest City Ratner Companies, here for an exclusive interview. Bruce, great to have you stop by.
Thank you, Betty. Glad to be here.
Well, let me start with housing overall,
Yes.
because we saw this depressing news yesterday, right? Case-Shiller home prices down to an 8-year low. We're a double dip in housing. Is this unexpected?
Well, we expected it over the last, I would say, 6 months. But if you'd asked a year ago, had we expected it, the answer is no. I think we all thought a year ago we were coming out of a lot of things, including housing. In fact, that hasn't been the case. Housing has had another dip. Some people say in the next couple months it will level off and it'll start going up, but I don't think anybody can really predict that. It depends on the overall economy and a lot of other things.
Well, what do you think happened?
I think the answer is there are so many houses that are in foreclosure, that are being sold and lowering prices. And I think the second, the most important thing, which I know we're going to hear about shortly, is the jobs. The economy just has not been able to create the kind of jobs that can get us out of a housing crisis.
And here in the city is what you're seeing. You're seeing not enough jobs created to drive the, obviously, to drive the demand and to absorb all that inventory then.
The city's a little different. This city has had a very different situation. The private sector, for example, in April, we gained 25,000 jobs. The city is almost where it was in terms of private sector jobs that it was before the Great Recession. So the city's different. Rentals are up. Even condo prices and co-op prices have steadied out. So the city is unique almost among cities in this country in terms of its recovery, or even didn't get that badly hurt during the recession.
So then this what's going on in that national housing market then, and what's different here in the city, is not affecting your game plan with your own properties then?
No, actually rental, as I said, rental is up substantially. I think it's up 7% in rental prices compared to a year ago. Believe it or not, the vacancy rate is less than 1% in the city on rentals. And even condominiums, there's like 3,500 condominiums currently on the market, and that's not a huge number given the size of the city. So it's very different here. We've just had a different economy.
Talking about the economy, we're just getting, I want to tell our viewers, the ADP employment data, and not looking good, Bruce. 38,000 jobs created. The forecast was for 175,000 jobs, so that is a huge miss, even if this report sometimes misses compared to the government.
Yeah, that's terrible. I mean, we need to create 200,000+ jobs to begin to make up what we lost. We need 100,000 a month just to stay where we are. 38,000 jobs is much more disappointing than I ever would have expected.
Bruce, how does this affect? I mean, I know the last time you were on our air, you were talking about banks and how they're not loosening their credit much more than before. The fact that we're still seeing bad economic data, how has that affected you in terms of being able to raise cash with these banks?
It's pretty much the same as it was a while back. Maybe a little bit better for residential in New York City. Again, I have the good fortune of developing in New York City. Banks have to put some money out, and in New York City, my guess is they'll put more money out for residential and potentially even office development.
Residential, because as you say, there's demand there. But I thought last time you said that the office was doing pretty well, that eventually we're going to see some sort of supply constraint there.
And I think that's happening. We have about a 10% vacancy rate in Manhattan in the office market, and people are saying that office buildings are again going to be developed in the next 6 to 12 months. Now, with this 38,000 jobs overall, that could be different, because despite the fact that New York City has done substantially better than almost any city in this country, when the economy in the country is bad, it does affect New York City. So maybe instead of getting hurt as badly as other cities, if the economy starts going bad again, we're going to get hurt. Maybe not as badly.
Are you trying to raise more cash now with the banks?
Well, we have a number of projects underway already, so we've got financing, thank goodness for that. And we will be building our first residential building at Atlantic Yards probably by December, January, and we'll have to go out and get a loan for that. We've already talked to banks, and we'll be able to get a loan.
A loan of how much? How much do you think?
I would say that's probably $100 million plus or minus.
Okay, is that what you want or what you think you can get?
That's appropriate. In other words, basically pre the recession, that's about what we would have gotten, and I think we should get that again.
Bruce, talk to me about what a lot of people here in New York want to know about the Barclays Center, the Nets' new home. Is it on schedule for the September 2012 opening?
It is on schedule. You can go by and see steel up. You can see the arch where the top of the arena will be. It's just going wonderfully. Steel is up. And it's going to be on time for September 2012.
What are the preparations being made right now by the team and yourself?
There's a huge amount of work that goes into not only building it, not only getting it ready, but opening it. Obviously, the team, we've taken members of the team out. They're very, very excited. They see it. They stand on the ground. They look up at the bowl and they say, this is fantastic, great sight lines and so on. That's the team. But events. We'll have over 200 events in the Barclays Center. Everything from boxing to music, to circuses, all the kinds of things that people would expect.
Right.
So we have to do all the arranging for that ahead of time, and that's being done right now. On September 28th, when we officially open, there'll be 3 weeks of unbelievable entertainment.
Oh boy.
Some of those
Okay.
some of those great New York celebrities will be back.
And you, of course, had Mikhail Prokhorov, the Russian billionaire, has a stake, obviously, in this arena,
Yes, he does.
but also has an 80%
Yes,
stake
that's correct.
in the Nets.
Yes.
Do you two talk about property deals at all or doing anything else together?
Well, let me first start by saying Michael Prokhorov and the people who work for him are great partners, and we do talk all the time. We talk about what's happening in the economy, what's happening in the economy in Russia, what's happening with the team, what we're doing in Atlantic Yards, both the housing and the arena.
Why do you talk to him about the Russian economy? Are you interested in investing there or something?
No. I'm always interested in what's going on different parts of the world, Russia is a major part of our world history and is a great country. So
right,
that's why I speak.
But do you guys talk about doing anything? I mean, you forged a great partnership here. Do you talk about doing anything else in New Jersey or elsewhere in New York?
Well, we have talked about Michael Prokhorov has the right to buy up to 20% of our Atlantic Yards project, and sometime in the next 6 months he'll make a decision.
Does it seem like he's leaning towards
I don't
that?
know. I have to present him everything first, and then he'll decide.
Okay. Also, talk to me about your Target stores. What's the traffic been like there?
It's incredible. We have 3 Target stores in the city, one in Brooklyn, one in Queens, one in Manhattan. The Target store in Brooklyn is probably between 1st and 5th in the chain every single month all over the whole country.
Really?
And New York is very constrained in terms of large box retail. And so they have held up incredibly during the recession. If you want to go, get something from Target, there's only about 5 or 6 in the whole city of 8 million. A state like Massachusetts probably has 15 or 20 Targets.
Just quickly, Bruce, would you build more of those in the city?
Of course I would, yes.
Okay, so you have plans then for that.
Well, you have to find a site. Finding a site in the city is very, very difficult.
Got it. If it works, though, keep going at it. Bruce, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Betty. Thanks for
joining us here.